An interesting topic for today. Welcome. This is Tech Talk Thursday, and we have some beautiful topics we would like to talk about. In fact, it's very relevant to the field of tech. I mean, whether you are into programming, whether it is front end or back end, or whether you are into UI or UX, whether you are into 3D animation and modeling, and even if you are into content creation, all of these things are very important or relevant to the topic, artificial intelligence and technology, or artificial intelligence and your job as a tech expert. Many tech experts or professionals, I don't know what to say, but some are indeed scared that artificial intelligence will take over their job. I want this to be an open discussion, so we are talking about it. I want to streamline my talk or discussion on 3D animation and modeling. So I've had discussions lately with certain animators and 3D modelers on whether artificial intelligence is the next option for animation. Okay, so will artificial intelligence take over animation? Would you give your money to someone who would make a 3D animation for you or a 3D movie for you, an animated movie, and who you know is using artificial intelligence throughout the whole job? Would you give your money to such persons to do such a job for you using artificial intelligence alone to create animations for you? Okay, would you rather give your money to somebody who can make generic animations, something that has to do with real texturing and the traditional way of 3D modeling? What is your take? This, as you go through this, leave your comments in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. However, I have my personal opinion, and I might not be an authority on this, but I think I would like to hear what I think about this. And what I think about it is that artificial intelligence is here to stay, and you cannot do away with it. Talking about in the animation industry, for example, the use of promptings to get your job done. You prompt so that you get you can also prompt to create your storyboard. You can create your storyboard now using artificial intelligence. So for people who do not know how to create storyboards, you can now use artificial intelligence to create your storyboard. You could use ChatGPT to create the breakdown of how you want your stories to go, and then you can bring that into your modeling and animation. And there are other platforms like generative AI, Midjourney. These are platforms where you can create animated, artificial intelligent animated movies. But there is a catch to it. Now, in the real world, when dealing with real clients, the question now is, can you really depend on artificial intelligence throughout your creation of animated movies or any other animated film, whether short or long? Can you depend on artificial intelligence alone? Have we gotten to that stage? Well, let me tell you this. Whatever artificial intelligence does is what the real modelers and the real animators have fed. So it's information fed into the machine. It's all about machine learning, right? So this information is fed into the machine and it learns, it is trained, and it adapts to this information that have been fed into it. And who are those that feed this information into it? These are the real people, the people who design these things traditionally. So we can never do away with the traditional method. Now, apart from that, when it comes to the real world also, we need to talk about iterations, going forth and back with your client. So you have constructed a model, for example, and we know that in the real world, models are quite and designed specifically to meet a particular need and to and there are certain I would like to put it, technical designs are going to some job. So you cannot use a one mode fits all. Even though you describe what you want to an artificial intelligence machine, it might not give you the detail that you actually need for that specific job. Talk about engineering industries, for example, and you want to model certain types of car parts or something that you want to fit in. Of course, you could get to use a picture or something, but there are many other complex things to it when you're doing modeling. If you know what I'm talking about, we have the mesh and the complexity when it comes to rendering. So if you are not an expert in that field, you actually hit roadblocks. Now, if it comes to character creation and you have to tweak certain body parts, you have to adjust certain parts, most have tested and seen that artificial intelligence, AI, are limited when it comes to these areas. So you prompted and it has given you a prompt and your client tells you, okay, I want the face to look this way, I want the face to be adjusted, this area should have this mark, this area should have this facial expression or something, and you go back to artificial intelligence and try to feed the information to artificial intelligence, you start seeing some anomalies, start seeing some, confusions here and there. How do you explain to your clients that you use artificial intelligence for your design? Because you cannot get the specific requirement. That is where the problem comes in. So we must know that artificial intelligence is very helpful, but it is not meant to be a stand-alone package. It is meant to be an assistant to the traditional way of doing these things too. So yes, it makes your work faster, it makes your work easier, but it should not be a stand-alone. This will help you to be able to make iterations for your clients in the real world. That's how it works. And if you have any question about this, if you have any opinion, maybe you have a contrary opinion about it, drop it in the comment section. I would like to hear you out. I would like to get your opinion. We could debate intellectually on this, and maybe with time we could have some competition to test out this too. All right. So for now, this is my own view about artificial intelligence and traditional way of doing these things. They can work hand to hand, but AI can never work alone. I have used artificial intelligence for programming, for example, and I know what I'm talking about. You cannot depend entirely on artificial intelligence if you do not know what you are doing. Be very sincere. So, give or take, artificial intelligence is growing, but I don't think it's going to take over the jobs of certain industry. Maybe content writing, but not copywriting. So there are different areas that we apply artificial intelligence, but using it wisely, I think that's the key. Thank you very much, and please drop your comments. Like, follow, subscribe, so you can get more. Tomorrow we're going back to how to do in 3D Blender animation. So watch out for the next how to hands-on skill animation, modeling, and rendering. Thank you very much.